Welcome to the Hot Slice. I am one of your hosts, Josh Cowan. Along with me, executive editor of Pizza Today, award-winning Pizza Today magazine, Miss Denise Greer. Hello, Denise.
Good morning, Josh. How are you?
We are recording this on a Monday morning.
Sorry, we're just going to apologize right up front. It's a Monday morning.
A Monday morning, and we're on deadline for the July issue. So a lot going on.
But the July issue is a good one. We have the rising stars of the pizzeria industry that you will not want to miss seeing. Who we've selected, because it's pretty fun. I like it. It's a good group.
And let's see what else is going on, Denise. Registration for Pizza and Pasta Northeast is open. It's returns. Open. It has returned to Atlantic City after I don't even know how many. It's 2019. Yeah, 2-year hiatus. Pizza and Pasta's back, and I love this show. It's one of my favorite shows.
More intimate
it's more intimate. Yeah, it's smaller. You get to have really good conversations with people without going to the next thing. Yeah. So it's personally my favorite show of the year. I'm really excited to have it back.
And we're on a beach. I mean, it's on the Atlantic Ocean. I mean, anytime I'm near the ocean, I am automatically happy.
Absolutely.
So I love Pizza and Pasta Northeast. So if you want to sign up, go to pizzaandpastaexpo.com.
That's it.
So all right, make sure I was going with the right web address there.
And we'll be co-locating with our other show, the Artisan Bakery Expo East. As well, so you'll have 2 times the fun there if you want to come this year.
Yeah, and bread is hot right now in pizzeria, so learning some of this bakery knowledge and operations that can only help. All right, so what do we have on the show today, Josh? We have Stuart Cameron. He is a chef with the Crown Tavern in Manchester, New Hampshire. And he actually wrote me because he was like, hey, I'm a pizza outsider and I got into the business. Mm-hmm. But what he didn't tell us is that he started out in an Ivy League school and switched to food.
Physics.
Yeah. So he definitely has that scientist brain. And I love to interact with folks and learn about how they do their pizza formula process and things with that sciencey background.
Yeah, it's this is a great podcast because we not very often we have a fine dining chef come in and start doing pizza. So I know that's a thing. It's happening more often now, especially from the pandemic. But it's good to have one on the podcast for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's just jump in and talk to Stuart because he's got a lot to say about things like Neapolitan pizza and fermentation. And we talk about a big, it's a good podcast. So let's just roll into it.
Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. Hear that? That's the sound of a pizza being made with delicious Baccio cheese. For the past decade, Baccio has provided customers exceptional Italian pizza cheese with its signature kiss of buffalo milk. With a superior melt, endless stretch, and a rich, creamy taste beyond compare, Baccio is honored to celebrate this 10-year anniversary with all of its partners. Schedule a demonstration at bacciocheese.com/hotslice to learn more. Pizza's your legacy. Build it with Baccio.
So Stuart, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, great to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. And you kind of reached out to me to talk to you because you've got kind of a unique story. So, and I love the fact that you said that you were a pizza outsider. Tell me a little bit more about how you were a pizzeria outsider and how you kind of got into pizza.
Well, I actually went to Ivy League school upstate New York started in physics, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
And, ended up in the hotel school. But that's a management school. I completely expected to end up wearing a suit and tie and doing that end of it. But my brother was a chef out in California, and just for fun, he invited me out a couple times during my college, and I fell in love with the restaurant business.
Caught the fever real quick.
Yeah, got the fever.
What was it about the restaurant business that really kind of got you excited about it?
I think the the people, girls, food. I grew up in a foodie family.
Yeah.
And certainly living in California at the time was pretty exciting. So when I was a junior at university, I had the uncomfortable conversation of having to pose to my parents that I delay my graduation, transferring to another school within the college.
Yeah.
And but I still thought I thought it was going to be suit and tie. Bill went out, spent the summer with him after graduation, and never looked back after that.
Oh wow! So what happened with pizza? How did you get into pizza?
So I started with fine dining. We were living in Napa Valley.
Wow.
And then at that time, my brother had moved to Boston, and I started, cooking in Boston and getting into the Boston food scene. We decided we wanted to have a family, got married, moved to Chicago.
Oh wow!
And I was working at the Four Seasons in Chicago and doing that kind of cooking, high end, white tablecloth cooking. Moved back to Boston, Rhode Island, and New England. Ended up in Manchester, New Hampshire, working at a nice restaurant in Manchester. And our first restaurant here in Manchester was a very fancy, expensive steakhouse.
Yeah.
And older clientele, quiet, expensive. And the owner and I decided that we need to spend more time out in the community and not being so exclusive. So we wanted to have kind of an opposite restaurant. So right down the street, a block away, 60-second walk, door to door, we opened the Crown Tavern. And that was going to be the opposite of steakhouse. Instead of being expensive, it was inexpensive. Instead of being dark, it was light. Instead of being quiet, it was, kind of rock and roll and loud.
I like that.
And the theme was the kind of place that we would want to spend a night out on our day off. So we love hamburger, we love pizza, and that's where it started from. Really, we both realized we love pizza very much, and we wanted to make sure we incorporated pizza inside of that restaurant.
What year was that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What year was that when you started the Crown and incorporated pizza and all that?
2017.
2017.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been with the company 15 years. So.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
So how did you, coming from a fine dining background and and working in these amazing, quality restaurants, what was it like developing your pizza? How long did it take, and what kind of process did you go through to develop that pizza?
Frankly, it was scary because I have a lot of confidence in my cooking. I have a lot of confidence in the team. Mm-hmm. But the more I got into pizza, the more I started researching it. From a scientific mind background.
Yeah.
It wasn't just come up with a recipe and that was it for the rest of my life. The more I'd researched it, the more I realized, I was probably a little bit over my head. And I had no idea about all the different styles all over the country and how serious people took it and all the variables involved in it. So
especially in the Northeast, you're up there.
Exactly.
You're some heavy hitters.
Absolutely. So I probably did more research on pizza and the pizza world and restaurants than I've ever done anything before.
Wow.
I was doing, 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, just on research in the pre-opening phase. We came up with the concept and the space. We knew where we wanted to go, but it was probably a year in the making So I had plenty of time to stew on it, plenty of time to research, and also to get, a little nervous about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I guess the first step would be deciding, when I realized all the different styles out there, how important it was going to be to pick the style.
Yeah.
The owner is from the New Jersey, New York area. He wanted that pizza. And while I love it, I was more fine dining and California oriented at that point.
Mm-hmm.
The Mozza restaurant is pretty awesome pizza.
Yeah, Josh is great.
Yeah. We're living in Napa Valley around the Bay Area, and there's some pretty awesome pizza there too. But
for sure,
I would never say that was anywhere near New York. So I had to make the owner happy with New York orientation with a California flair on it. So as it turns out, there was a genre that we briefly talked about before. Neo-Neapolitan, I don't even think I knew that word back then.
Yeah.
But that's, I think I stumbled into it accidentally from trying to combine those two elements.
It really is a great balance, though. I mean, it's kind of the sweet spot as far as I'm concerned, as far as pizza goes.
Yeah,
it is.
I had an interesting experience. This came to mind when we were on the pre-talk. Through our cheese man, he arranged for us to do a number of tours through Boston. The best pizza places in Boston. This is a pre-opening phase.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our first stops was Little Italy in Boston, and he took us to a authentic Neapolitan. The chef was from Italy right off the boat. They had imported him for his skills, and he was certified authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And we happened to, my sous chef and I were talking to him, and we were thinking about using semolina as the bench flour. And I think we must have mentioned semolina, and he almost stopped.
He fell off his chair. Huh?
Fell off his chair, and he said, "No semolina, no semolina."
Yeah.
And we said, "Why?" We thought we had made a mistake. And he said, "No, semolina makes it crunchy. We don't want crunchy."
Mm-hmm.
And when he turned away, I turned to the sous chef and I said, "I guess we're going to be using semolina because
yeah, we want crunchy.
we want it crunchy, and we've been working hard to have that element in our pizza."
That's awesome. There is a lot going on within that Neapolitan movement. And in fact, if you read Scott Wiener's Man on the Street this month, he actually talks about Neapolitan, and he's definitely got an interesting take where the style really doesn't work for a lot of markets, and how a lot of people do take the inspiration of Neapolitan, but then kind of give it their own flair, but also using their own ingredients and not having to depend on Italian imports.
I can't wait to read that.
Yeah, you definitely should check that out. So
I burned through all the podcasts on the internet, yours and other people's, and that talking point, especially when you're not in a East or West Coast restaurant, that talking point is very strong in all the podcasts about that their market will not accept that.
Right.
And the guys that are trying to forge ahead in the smaller markets, how much education they have to do, and how long it takes for the population to catch on.
Yeah.
I sympathize.
So besides semolina, what makes your pizza kind of unique in comparison to a traditional Neapolitan?
Because I had that much time to research it, and because I was not from inside the industry, it was kind of a free-floating swirl of like the gases in the universe before it coalesced into the planets. I was able and willing to contemplate anything and everything to get to my final result of what was the goal, was to have a poofy crust, thin but not too thin bottom, something that I tell the new pizza cooks, I need this pizza to be able to stand on top of a sour cream bucket and not buckle over the sides when it's finished.
Yeah.
So to get there, I tried and contemplated everything, and we've settled on, we're doing a Biga pre-ferment.
Oh, okay.
And our goal is a 3 to 6 day cold ferment.
Okay.
And which is, as I understand it, is pretty unusual in the industry.
Yeah.
And
but if you can pull it off, though, if you can pull it off, that's fantastic.
For sure.
When that thing is done, the crust and the taste and the look is pretty good. I sent you some pictures this morning.
Yeah, you did. It looks so good.
Did you see the loaf bread that I made?
Yes, that the bread looked amazing.
So that's made out of the pizza dough, and I call it micro. I polled friends and family, and nobody can come up with a better name, so I call it micro bubble bread because of that bubbles that you see on top of that thing, and that's also in the pizza crust. So it really has
awesome.
a Neapolitan leoparded crust because of all those bubbles from the long fermentation. But it's not droopy or wet at all.
Yeah. Now, for like the folks that are also kind of, rethinking their dough or maybe experimenting with trying a new dough, what did you love about using a Biga? Did you, what really drew you to using the Biga?
The idea of using a sourdough starter in pizza is very romantic. And it's a great story, and part of the business is telling stories. But feeding that thing in a restaurant setting has got to be challenging, and I respect the guys that do it.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm trying to recreate the sensations and the palatability, the look, the flavor, the smell, and that Biga allows us to do that. And it's trainable, it's doable, and we get all the advantages of that. The advantages of the sourdough without having to go through that trial. I've been reading recently that it's, I don't have any conclusions yet. I've been reading recently that some people think that if you're going to do a long cold fermentation like I'm doing already, is a pre-ferment overkill or unnecessary. And I think the crust is special.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a test with it and just get a batch in there without telling anybody and seeing if I notice or anybody else notices. I run, most people don't know, but I'm constantly running tests with, against the dough with myself, and I have special marking ways of doing it.
Yeah.
You come from a scientific background, so I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less.
And that was the tough part about getting the dough ready for the restaurant opening, is at what point do you stop tinkering and go into full production?
Right.
That was a difficult decision.
Now,
but, people think that it's been the same dough all the way, and between you and I, it's radically different than when we started.
Yeah. Which it's an evolution, that's how pizza works. When you were developing your dough in that pre-open stage, how many batches or how long did it take you before you tried that piece of pizza and you're like, oh, we're on to something now, we've got it?
I want to do a shout out to our previous pastry chef, Amanda. She was instrumental in the process. She had a great bread background. And so I was, something we haven't touched on before, or maybe are clear enough. The Crown Tavern is a pizza oven and a pizza program within the confines of a regular restaurant.
Full service, yes.
And before that space was open and ready to test, and we were doing it at the other restaurant at the steakhouse in the basement there, with only a convection oven to work out of, which was problematic. So she did a great job getting us ready for opening, and she left shortly after that, not because of the pizza dough, but I was like, a coach on the sidelines yelling at the players. So she's in there making the pizza dough, and I'd come downstairs from the kitchen and say, "We're going to do semolina today. Let's try 10%. Let's try 15%," and on and on and on. So I'll bet you we went through 25 iterations of the dough before we even got to one for pre-opening.
Oh,
for
nice.
Friends and family.
Well, your timing with pizza is actually pretty great, because I mean, during the pandemic, did you guys rely on that a lot as far as that goes?
We did.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. And that was pretty crucial, because that came down, as we know, so hard and fast.
Yeah.
That the steakhouse did not reopen for a number of months because of the staffing and the complexity of the restaurant and the expense of just turning the key on the door.
Yeah.
Whereas the Crown Tavern, being, maybe 50-60% of sales in pizza, it was a godsend. One that we didn't, who would have anticipated that, but to be able to churn out pizza with a skeleton staff, and doing nothing but takeout for months and months and months was, it kept the lights on.
Do you think that helped you kind of elevate your pizza game, as being in that kind of environment? Because, I hear from a lot of people, especially when they have to switch to the takeout model, that it really helped them hone their systems and things to be able to just churn and burn and be able to put out pizzas in a quality manner.
Well, on the takeout, it was very traumatic for us, because in both restaurants, we had an expression: we allow takeout, we don't do to go. And that was pre-COVID. That was the mantra of, we don't encourage it. We don't really want to do it. We don't think our food translates well to a box or a bag. So if somebody within the restaurant wanted to take something with them, of course we would say yes. But for outside phone calls, we really weren't doing it with any sort of enthusiasm. And I would say what COVID did was to turn that on its head and say, let's just figure it out. What can we do? What can we do that can go well, and capitalize on that, because we've already been forced to do it. But I'll tell you what, we did it for a week when COVID started. I've had 5 days off since COVID started. We've been going straight, as far as continuous days. But we did it for a week and realized we didn't know what the hell we were doing, and shut it down for another week to retool and to think about it and get systems down, because we were embarrassing ourselves with cars coming up and not being able to deliver the product on time. So in a sense, it's been great, and we're finding it's about 15% of sales now. From 0 to 15 is pretty impressive.
Yeah,
or at welcome, at least.
Wow. Yeah. That is amazing.
Thankfully, you had also going for you a great patio. I mean, a great outdoor area. I mean,
did you see the pictures?
I was checking out your Instagram. I saw it. I saw the wedding ceremonies happening there and everything. Yeah. So that's another thing you had a great going on your side.
That patio is the exact same footprint as the entire restaurant building. So it's a full city lot of a patio on a corner with a nice fence, and you would never know you were in a downtown city. It's pretty nice.
That's awesome. And we actually in the next issue of the magazine, the July issue, there's going to be one on how to create that dining experience outside. And I think that you've hit that perfect balance of being able to create a dining experience in an outdoor patio without it being just, okay, here's some outdoor seating, call it a day. You've created a vibe out there.
Yeah, the total experience.
Yeah.
Did you, it wasn't really clear in that thing. Did you see the bar that we built on the patio?
Yeah. I think I saw it on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty neat. And again, that was all done pre-COVID. So when people were scrambling to put chairs on the street and build huts, in downtown New York, we already had that patio. Yeah. So as soon as the key was turned for return to dining outside for COVID, boy, people just rushed out there.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have you pick my lottery numbers next, because I mean, you're a bit of a fortune teller there.
Yeah, who would have thought? Looks like you have a lot of events out there too.
We're actively always looking for new concepts and ideas. We want to get a pizza truck. That would be a different conversation.
Yeah.
But we've decided any future restaurant is going to have some sort of capacity for a window, a delivery window, no matter what the restaurant is, because you never know if this is going to happen again. And the people that have the windows were blessed.
Yeah. Now, do you partner with any third party? Because I could see those windows being really useful for a third party.
We don't. We looked at the economics and decided it was not happening.
Yeah, gotcha. So my last question, and then we'll let you roll out, is you have a chef background. As you were developing your topping combinations, what really gets you excited about pairing different ingredients?
I think my best pizza day is redoing classics with doing the chefiness on top of it, or having with the two restaurants. I'm the chef for both restaurants. With the access to the palate from a tavern and from a steakhouse, we have access to stuff that an ordinary pizzeria just doesn't have. From high-end $40 a pound scallops to prime rib that was left over, and we're going to shave up and make a pizza out of it.
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
and the background of a number of people in the business that can pull that off.
Yeah.
I sometimes think that it's kind of trying to cheating a little bit, because pizza is not the be all and everything. So when the price of mozzarella rises, we don't pull our hair out, because the other restaurant and the other areas in the restaurant are also generating profit, and we don't have to worry about every last detail. Back to the 3 to 6 day cold ferment, we have the space for that because it wasn't built as a pizzeria. We're not crammed in the back of a small building in downtown New York. That's just not a reality for vast majority of people to have dough sitting on the shelves for 6 days.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I would imagine. Josh and I walk into pizza kitchens and walk-ins, and sometimes people just have pull-in refrigeration. So, to walk into some of those walk-ins, it's a tight little space. So, to be able to have access to that amount of space is pretty awesome.
It's quite a luxury, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, I thank you so much for hopping on the Zoom with us to talk about pizza. And I wish you guys the best of luck. If I'm ever in that area, I'm definitely going to come chill out on your patio.
For sure.
It'd be great. Do you guys ever get up to the Northeast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we do. So we'll see if we can get to your area. Hey, you ever come out to Pizza Expo?
The funny thing about that, we decided in February of COVID year that we were gonna go.
Yeah.
It got canceled out, and then last year we were gonna go to the Northeast Pizza Pasta.
Yeah.
And booked everything up.
And then it got canceled.
Well, and we said screw it, we're gonna go anyway. We went to Philadelphia instead of going instead of the show, and we had a pizza tour there.
Okay.
Oh,
well, we got pizza and pasta this year. Fingers crossed.
And
we got pizza and pasta
this
year.
Yeah, we do have pizza and pasta this year, and we're excited for it. There's going to be some great competitions there too. So
we're definitely going to go.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you then, and thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
Right on. Have a good day.
It was a great time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.